falls and commits this kind of gross sin, it's going to bring more attention to it, and it should. Because not only have we in the past committed these sins, we're hypocritical because we're the ones that have preached against it, and it just upsets people that the very ones that are preaching against it have been guilty of it.
You said at one point your own mother was embarrassed to be a Catholic.
Oh my Lord, my own mom, who's in a beautiful assisted living out in Washington, Missouri, she said, I'm not going down to the dining room. Most of the time she said, I like going there because they're asking about your son who's...
I worked with a bunch of people at that factory that was atheists.
I said, Mom, I'm embarrassed too.
I didn't know what crap that meant. I've never even heard that word. Or devil worship.
And I think it is.
So, Cardinal, I mean, this is decades long. There is definitely a reckoning in society. You're absolutely right about that. But at all levels and all layers, all industries. But at the same time, the Catholic Church is a decades-long scandal. Thousands of victims, billions of dollars in payments. Is it not categorically different? It's set aside and apart. And what changes were made to fix what the problems were so that people who are still interested, thinking about the next generation, will come back?
Well, thanks for reminding us that there have been changes, and those changes started in 2002 with what we call the Dallas Charter, which you all journalists have done a very good job of reporting on. So there was a tsunami shift in 2002 that the church said, hey, you know what? We've been an example of what not to do in the past. Now we need to be an example of what to do. And the past 17, 18 years, there would be tangible, verifiable data that we are ahead of this and that we cleaned up our act. You reported on it that, about 3 weeks ago, Judge Barbara Jones, an acclaimed federal judge, that I had asked a year ago, I said, would you please, my people still don't seem to believe us, that we have reformed and cleaned this up. Would you do a scrupulous study of all the procedures that we've done in the Archdiocese of New York? Here's the key, no records are barred, and report back in a year. And she did. And she said, I give the Archdiocese of New York an A. They have kept their promises. So, boy, it was bad in the past, but I think now, I hope we're a sign of reform and the way to handle this.
You got an A, but Monsignor John Paddock in your archdiocese was accused earlier, as you know, of molesting at least 5 boys for more than a decade. The allegations continued. He stepped down, but he was allowed to continue working. Why?
Yeah,
what can you tell us about him and why you made that decision?
That was about 10 years ago.
What's wrong with these people? They believe in God more than most little kids.
And that he was allowed to stay in. So by what the charter tells us to do, we handed over to the police.
This year he was accused of
You heard that earlier this morning?
No, there was a girl in there in Nashville that was getting charged with rape because she slept with her 12-year-old kid that she was babysitting.
I was working at that factory and everybody's walking. I was asking them if they believed in God, and he looked at me and said, I'm atheist. I was like, what the crap is that?
They don't believe in anything.
He believed in something because he had the devil wrote all over him. He had tattoos of the devil on his neck, on his arms, on his back. His old lady was a preacher's daughter. His girlfriend was. And she had tattoos of devils all over her. Security guard was going out there and looking at his truck, trying to get him fired because he was an atheist. I guess everybody can have their own belief, but it's not right.
We had already entered into the Independent Reconciliation and Compensation Program. That's 4 years old. That has been praised by victims and the public alike. And in that, there were about 350 victims that came forward and reported a sense of resolution and finality.
People do believe in church. They get molested. I never sent my kids to church without me.
Oh, this girl, she was babysitting some people's kid. He was 12 years old. She had sex with him and she tried to say it was his fault.
This was what we call a synod, which is an anything goes
12-year-old's fault.
Yeah, she knew better than that.
Mid-60s every 3 years. Pope Francis sort of opened
How old we were.
This was a regional synod deal in the
But you wasn't a
Amazon
lot
because he's
older
worried
than
about the
me.
environmental, the poverty.
She's
Do you think it's
30.
a good idea for a priest to have the option of marrying?
I'm glad they brought it up. I'm glad
Ain't
they
you
talked
fun?
about it. We act like it's a big secret, but heck, my barber asks me why priests can't.
Everybody believes in faith in God.
Would you like there to be a Mrs. Dolan?
Those people get everything they need. Those people that don't believe get everything.
But you know what? Pope Paul VI said you shouldn't be celibate if you don't want to be married and have kids. Celibates are different than bachelors. Celibates want to be a father and want to be a
Text
spouse.
mama and ask her what time if she's coming or he's coming. Tell him to be here about 9, 10 o'clock. 9:30, 10.
And I've got it. But do I regret not being married? Well, I might miss
Hear me?
it, but right now, celibacy I find to be
How you doing now?
really rewarding and liberating.
Right.
They call Ramsey.
Thank you.
Yeah, that does help.
Say the name of the book, will you?
The name of the book is Who Knew This Day I Am?
And it's a reflection for every day of the year. We
Yes, daily reflections on the Bible, the saints, and the answer that is
David
Christ.
Davis
Our normal
is
satisfied will be with us.
A great Christmas present.
We'll be right back with Chef David.
a great Christmas.
This misfit said that all the people, 23% of Americans believe in God and the rest are atheists.
Congo, the 28-year-old has a warrant for criminal homicide out against her right now. That's in a weekend shooting death of Sherry Essel. Investigators say